Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam. How you doing?
Fine,
I love the way you make your hair. It's really pretty. Suits your face.
My face, thanks.
What's up? Anything happening?
Nothing happening. Nothing that I have planned anyway. You know how these things happen. Then all of a sudden something comes up, but nothing. We're just, my lifestyle with ML program is ongoing. I'm doing 2 classes and a couple of personal sessions with people. And it's been interesting. So we're doing intermittent fasting. I think I've spoken about intermittent fasting a few times here, where you take hours in a day or some days in the week when you're fasting, and that just allows your body to renew itself and be healthier. Usually when the people start, they're like, how am I able to go a whole day without eating? How am I able to go? And then when they do, they're like, oh, isn't this easy? Yeah. I didn't realize, and
it's
all the many benefits.
I tried it. That fasting thing, it's only when we have general fasting.
Like church fasting.
Sorry, church fasting.
Okay.
I know everybody around me is fasting, so the kitchen is
You're
locked.
praying.
Here we're praying. But when it's just for me,
For
it's
vanity.
single-handedly, just for vanity. Everybody's eating and it's difficult. I usually break around 12.
Oh, God.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Today is Nima's birthday.
Yay! Happy
Alhaja
birthday,
Nima.
Nima Akasha
Happy
Zibiri.
birthday, girl.
Yes,
Happy
so we sent our
birthday
messages
to
earlier
you.
in the day.
Yeah,
Happy
we love
birthday.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nima. Happy birthday to you. Today is also 40 days. Her father is 40 days today.
Yes.
So it's also mixed reactions.
Yeah, mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings today, actually. Yeah. And but she's still happy. She's thanking God for her father. He lived a very good life. He had an exemplary life, and he made an impact in his community. So so she wants to be by herself today. She doesn't want any privacy.
Yeah.
So we are respecting that.
We just post pictures.
We post pictures and just respect her privacy this time. We have space today. But it's
I have a shout out.
Yes, please.
As well. So we have a fan all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I think I'm attracting people from Atlanta, Georgia. Is the Holy Spirit saying something to me? So her daughter is going to be Ayomide Marvelous. I was thinking she wrote her age. Oh, her age is not here. So Ayomide Marvelous, happy birthday.
Yeah.
We love you. Your mommy loves you. Your mommy says I should do this shout out to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Lots of birthdays.
Marvelous.
Yes.
I like that name.
Marvelous. I had one for the first time a couple of days on your view. Certainty.
Really?
Yeah, somebody called him from somewhere. His name is Certainty. I'm like, wow.
They must be
Certain.
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 I certainty. I was like, okay, now I have to think about that name for a while. Certainty.
Certainty.
But I must say thank you to the Honorary Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources. Yesterday, my auntie had complained that there was no water in Ikorodu, and he sent me a message. I think it was this month. In fact, she sent me a message telling me, and I have to read it so that he can hear, just in case he's watching. Good morning, Murayo. Water issue resolved. It is running this morning.
Yay.
Thank you so much to the Commissioner for Environment for ensuring that water is running in Ikorodu, because, I mean, lots of people have complained about it, and it was a swift response.
Yeah,
we appreciate
quite
that.
swift.
Very, very swift. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you for listening.
Lagos is listening.
Yep.
Yes, so they listen. Let's go and
This is
break.
someone who listens.
Yes. That's Honorable Commissioner Tunji Bello. I choose not to say his name because he doesn't like that publicity, but once in a while, we should let him know that.
give him kudos.
Tunji Bello, yes.
Yeah.
You know he doesn't like me calling his name. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start with the nation today. Government, Nigeria's economy risks return to recession. Governors blame past leaders, clerics for banditry. Unilag crisis deepens as Senate unions back VC. U.S. visa restriction over soon. NJC tips 4 justices for Supreme Court. Okay, lots of stories here. Let's start with Unilag, or the major headline.
Yeah, the major headline. So Unilag, we took in the papers yesterday that the VC was sacked, but now all the different associations, ASU, SANU, National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, NASU have all come together to stand behind him. And they said that, well, it seems that there had been they're asking first for the dissolution of the counseling body being led by Wale Babalakin. And I think that they explained that there's been a back and forth between Babalakin and the former Vice Chancellor of UNILAG. And really, they're saying that we're standing behind him. This is a man who's given 30 years to the university. And so they called the Congress. He was there. That's the former VC was there as well. They are warning all surrogate VCs to stay away. But they're asking that the government intervenes and that, you know, this will be resolved quickly.
Yes, so in February, the United States suspended immigration visas for Nigerian passport holders. And that didn't affect people who were going for tourism or schooling or business. But they raised about 6 concern areas which they wanted us to work on before they lift the suspension. But hopefully the president inaugurated a committee that was handling it. So far, they've been able to solve 2 of the concern areas. They're still working on more. So by hopefully very soon they'll be able to finish. And but they also meant the committee that was instituted ensured that we have a national criminal information management and national criminal DNA laboratory that will aid criminal investigation. Was one of the criteria that was given.
I didn't want to run off without mentioning the Southern Kaduna killing, which is very important. Governor of Jigawa State, Abubakar Badaru, and his Kaduna counterpart, Nasir El-Rufai, were talking at an event yesterday, and Governor of Jigawa was saying that past governors were lackadaisical in adopting policies, and that's one of the things that led to Southern Kaduna killings. And El-Rufai was saying also that many religious leaders failed to use their platforms to unite people. They actually used it to incite violence and cause more division. And he said, for his own credit, even his critics do agree that one thing he has done, his administration has done, to ensure that the killings stay within Southern Kaduna, because usually in the past, it spreads across the entire state. But they've been able to contain it, but either way, they're working assiduously with the military to ensure they contain the violence and get it resolved as soon as possible. Moving on now to Vanguard. Obaseki or Shomale's men at war over attack on convoy. Nigeria studying Russia's vaccine, says federal government. My Lafia's Boko Haram claims NBC slams 5 million naira fine on radio station. FG moves to end US visa restrictions on Nigeria. Nigeria may slide into recession, says finance minister. Southern Kaduna News reports on 1992 crisis to avert further killings. And Knight Carrington staked life for Nigeria's democracy. Lots of stories here. Let's start with the vaccine story.
Yes, so the federal government yesterday has said that it's currently studying Russia's claim to have the vaccine. There are about 1,000 clinical trials that are ongoing in different parts of the world right now to be able to give us vaccine for COVID-19. And they also mentioned that in a few weeks now, Nigeria has not really recorded any fatality, but that doesn't mean that we are out of we're out of the woods. It means that we still need to be cautious. We still need to take care. And they mentioned that about out of the 13,844 Nigerians that have been tested so far, people who were evacuated from other parts of the world, 684 of them tested positive. So we still need to watch this.
Okay, I was going to take the story on NBC.
Okay, good.
So, go ahead.
Okay, so I have part of the story, which is we do remember he was called by DSS and interrogated, and he has also apologized. He says actually where he heard the story of a former governor being involved was when he went to the local market to buy acha. Acha is very nice, by the way. And he, you know, had conversations with like the local traders, the local Fulani traders, and they were the ones that told him, so that's where he got it from. And NBC has now slammed Nigerian Info FM. 99.3. I think it's a 5 million naira fine for providing a platform for him to, you know.
Says they provided, let me read it, say that they provided, they allowed him to promote unverifiable and inciting views that could encourage or incite crime and lead to public disorder. That's according to the code. Now, there's an internal war between the chairman on the NBC and the Minister of Information and the DG, Idachaba, that's my personal organ. So Idachaba and Minister of Information are having, according to the chairman of the NBC, they single-handedly put together, reviewed the code,
and
then made it public. That they are yet to provide to him and other stakeholders the approved document from the presidency. That he's not even sure they got proper approvals. But it seems as if the Honorable Minister actually just approved it single-handedly, and what that document for him is totally illegal, and that it shouldn't be used as the benchmark for our regulatory, the media and all that. But either way, they need to clean out the house, because the chairman cannot be having issues with the DG. That's a no-no in itself. Okay, is there another story you want to take? And for Vanka, let's move on very quickly to the Nigerian Tribune. Budget, FG suspends 1.57 trillion on debt servicing, 1.16 trillion on personnel pension. I wish I read that. Boko Haram terrorists now recruiting child soldiers, says MNJTF. 808 million children worldwide risk contracting COVID-19, says UNICEF. Hoodlums attack Obaseki's campaign team. FG to world powers, stop denying us weapons to fight terrorism. Okay, and father runs mad after 7 members of his family die of food poisoning in Zamfara.
Yeah, so the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, has said that the Boko Haram terrorist group is now recruiting children in their numbers. And to confirm that, there were recent pictures put up by this group showing children in khakis, you know, and military outfits. And they are saying that this is because there's been sort of like a shake-up in the Boko Haram camp. A lot of things are not going well, leadership tussle and things like that, just to show that there's a weakened Boko Haram group right now. And then they're asking and appealing to parents to just keep an eye on their kids and just watch out for different signs, because they are targeting young children right now.
UNICEF?
Go ahead, please.
Yes, so the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has said that 818 million children worldwide are at a risk of getting COVID-19, especially with the resumption of schools. They are saying that they've carried out, I think in partnership with the World Health Organization, and they've noticed that most schools do not have the basic water for hand washing and soap. And so they are asking that for us to ensure that a lot of them do not get COVID-19, especially in underdeveloped countries like ours. The government has to sit tight to ensure that every school is provided with good running water at least.
Did you guys see the video at King's College where the students were going back to school and there was absolutely no social distancing? They were all, you know, recently packed together through the gates. So people are scared that if that's happening now.
Moving on to Daily Trust very quickly. Federal government says economy faces fresh hurdles. I got my information from Boko Haram traders, says Malaifa. How killing of boy raised fears in just community. 7 family members die of food poisoning in Zamfara. And FG dumps national ID card. Okay, let's talk about the national identity card. Yes.
So, according to the Minister of Interior, Yes, Aribishola. Yeah, so he said that the federal government has announced the plan to replace the national ID card with a digital number. So it's going to be fashioned like the security number you have in the US and other countries. So they are saying that they've spent billions of naira in manufacturing this national ID, and it's just more like enriching other countries. But now they're looking to upgrade since the world has gone digital. So right now you just need to cram the number that you get, and anywhere you go, your DNA is matched. You can be traced. People can't just do anything and run away anymore. And they're going to be needing about 2.5 billion to get this done, according to the names and the World Bank collaboration.
That's a run of unfortunate, but the human interest story, I thought we were going to
Yes, I have that. So the one in Zamfara. So sorry, I lost his name right now. But he had his family, his 2 wives and children had tuwo masara. So tuwo masara is like cornmeal that they have, like the eba. And he wasn't home. By the time they were done, they had tummy ache. I think the wives died. Others were rushed to the hospital and they died. So all the members of his family died after eating that meal. And this also sent him off obviously, you know, they say he's not doing mentally well since that happened. Really sad. It will be very important to find out the cause. The hospital said food poisoning.
Yes.
But food poisoning, I know, is just like, you know, other symptoms, but
yes, there was
poison.
a little detail there where the young girl who prepared the meal was supposed to get a spice, and then she asked her mother, who didn't
pay attention.
So she went and took that thing they use for lali.
Henna,
something like that, and used it, thinking it was the spice she was supposed to use, because they were both the same
Unfortunately,
color.
we have to wrap up, but we have to,
was it cool question?
That's really, really sad.
Yes, that's so sad.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we have a guest appearance from Haven Homes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. News trending recently about how 26-year-old Kiss Daniel has had a street named after him in one of the most luxurious estates in Lagos. He joins a super exclusive list of A-listers like Tubaba, AY, Tiwa Savage, Banky W, and Falls, who have enjoyed the same recognition. Joining us now remotely is someone who is presumably the youngest GM in the real estate industry and chief operating officer of the innovative real estate company behind these honors. One of that has certainly contributed towards building a more beautiful cityscape in Lagos. Welcome with us, Ufoma Elesomi. Good morning, Ufoma. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Yeah, it's good to have you. So, I mean, we've seen your work we've seen your work in the creative industry and what you've done so far. Tell us what's the vision? Why are you involved so much in the creative industry? Tell us about it. Why do you do this?
Well, you know, in the creative industry generally is somewhere that, you know, when you look at it, you say that's a good area to promote our development, a good area to, you know, shine as such. We will say that, like for example, the recognition that we did for Kiss Daniel, you know, everyone loves recognition, right? Everyone wants to be recognized one way or the other. So sometimes you see people, they have vanity plate numbers in their cars. Sometimes people have names in their building. People want to be recognized generally. So we do this simply because for example, street naming, we do this because you recognize someone's street name is way up there. It's a big deal. So also the type of architecture, that's the type of buildings we build. They are unique, beautiful, elegant. So it somewhat associates with the creative industry, if you know what I mean.
Fantastic.
So yes, so that's why we do it really.
Yeah.
And I'll also say that one of the very first person we had the relationship with is Innocent Idibia, Two-Face. And you and I know that Innocent Idibia is someone that is really loved around the world. So him, recognizing him is, you know, a big deal. So yeah, definitely, that's why we do it.
Yeah, so I know that you call yourselves the pioneers of contemporary architecture. And I'm wondering, why did you decide to start calling yourself that? Is it that there were no very beautiful companies that were doing something like you're doing before you came into Nigeria?
So, pioneers of contemporary architecture, I'll tell you about that. So years ago, about 14 years ago, what you normally see will be the traditional homes. The traditional homes that they were actually called luxury homes. And these luxury traditional homes are homes that the only people that could afford these homes are the very, very rich people.
Right.
And I don't know if you watch this movie, Blink Lagos, they said the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
So the people that could really afford it were that 1% of the 1%. So when we came in 14 years ago, the interesting thing is that we said we're going to build developments that are, you know, just 1 minute, build developments that are contemporary, commercial contemporary. We're known as commercial contemporary because we've been able to give or be able to reach out to people who never thought they could afford properties, people who middle class now can afford luxury properties. They never thought they could do that before. So we've been able to do that and break the barriers of the regular traditional properties. I'll give you an example of what a contemporary home is. A contemporary home is like when you go into the homes, you see a lot of lights, big windows, high volumes, high ceilings. That's what a contemporary home is like. And we've been able to give that to a lot of people. And we say this because before we came, you really didn't used to see a lot of contemporary homes. It's after we came in that you now start seeing more contemporary homes. That's about 14 years ago. So yes, we are indeed the pioneers of contemporary.
Yeah.
Trailblazers. Go ahead.
So, first of all, of course, when you were introduced, the GM, the CEO, and then you see a very young, pretty lady, and and it's immediately, I'm curious, like, so how have you done it, and what would you say are lessons that you've learned in, your career path?
Okay, so in my career path, I would say that I've grown a lot because as you grow, I would say I started from even before I joined Haven Homes, right? I've always had this this drive and spirit of ownership that whenever I join something, I would just feel like it's my own. I don't behave like the norm that people will say is in my father's company. So I always just had that thing like, oh, this is my own things. I need to take it. And once something is your own, you don't break it, you fix it, you grow it. So for Haven Homes, when I started because right now I'm going up to almost 9 years in Haven Homes, and and right now I'm just heading to 31. I'm almost 31, so it means that I started quite early. So I've had to learn and unlearn a lot of things, and I'm still learning. But when I started, one of the very important things that I would say is that I am someone that I'm very passionate about what I do, very consistent, dedicated, and I'm more so God has been there all through. But the most key thing is the power of relationship. I pride myself with the power of relationship, relating with people, because when you have good relationship with people, you can you can do a lot of things, you can excel, go higher and higher. So what happens is that even if I'm having to deal with the lowest skilled worker or the highest clients, as the case may be, or anybody, they pretty much would get the same feel from me, because relationship is something that you cannot underestimate.
All right, Fama.
So yeah, that's something that
So there's somebody listening to you now, Fama, and saying, okay, I would like to have this kind of home. How do they start? Do they come to you? Is there a payment plan? Do they have to pay outrightly, or do you just give them the home for free?
Yes, so interesting. Yes. So usually what will happen is that they will call us, or someone will refer them to us. So what will happen is we'll go through a process, a rigorous, interesting process that tells you about the home, where we came from, where we started from, what we've been doing. They'll go through a tour. We have a show home. We'll first entice them, because you see, it's not just all about business. It's also the relationship. You want them to fall in love with the property, right? You want them to fall. So they will first of all fall in love, and then we then give them an offer, which then, obviously there's a payment plan, because we have a payment structure that spans across the construction milestone. So yes, that's sort of what we do. We give a payment plan, and then throughout the life cycle, they'll be carried along till the project is completed.
Okay. So, the pandemic, COVID-19 has dealt a major blow to everybody. Is there anything Heaven Homes is doing to reduce the purchasing power so that a lot of people can, have access to the properties? Any reduction in price?
Yeah. Oh, this reduction in price. All right. So basically, this global pandemic has definitely taken the world to a different turn, and people say that the real estate is one sector that has hit the most. But what's very interesting about Haven Homes is that we actually have a very flexible payment plan and very loyal customers who already have the desire to make sure that they see through these projects and make sure they get these homes. So what we do is we engage them, or they engage us, we sit down together, agree on a payment plan that is, revised and more flexible for them to be able to meet up. And, if I want to be very honest, we barely have people who have pulled out because we're able to still sit down with them and then go through a payment plan. But another thing that is very interesting is that we have a lot of clients in the diaspora. And these clients, they had already, because the way things are, they're able to invest more in Nigeria. And what that then, brings is more foreign investment funds in the country, of much needed funds that Nigeria needs now in these hard times. So definitely that's another way that Haven Homes is helping Nigeria.
So we have to wrap up with you. Any final words for potential customers? We have to.
So we have an estate, Richmond Pearl Estate, which is just about to come up. That is something that people need to look forward to. It's going to be spectacular. People have seen our Richmond Gate Estate. People love it. So we hope that people will see Richmond Pearl soon. It's already getting sold out. Very soon, people will hear more and better things from us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And don't worry, those of us that are looking for houses, we'll call you. And if you need an interior decorator, trust us. We have one. We have one in the building. We have an interior decorator, trust me. Baby. We'll send her to you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So our heroes of the week this week are the Ikorodu boys. Ooh. And the TVC has always celebrated them. They've come several times to Wake Up Nigeria. So it's not the first time we're celebrating them. But a Nigerian internet group, they recreate and mimic multi-million-dollar music videos and Hollywood trailers. They recently attracted an international attention. We heard that they earned an invite to the world premiere of Netflix action thriller Extraction 2 after making a remake of the first trailer. Today we're celebrating them for their hard work, their consistency, and their perseverance.
Yep.
There they are. So these are young boys.
These are very young boys. One is 10, the other is 16, and their elder brother is 23. He's actually the one that comes up with the concept and does the shooting. And when they were talking about their story, they said sometimes it takes them like a month, like this last one that they did. It took them a month. They kept doing it and redoing it till they got it well. And it just shows me that if we can start teaching our young children, teenagers, to put in the work. It's not about fame, so to speak. It's about the fact that you are learning to solve a problem, which is these people are in the entertainment space. And it's not easy. I'm an actor. It's not easy to mimic somebody. For them to get it like that and gather
What's even more interesting
attention,
for me this is the fact that we have so many creative minds in this country.
Yes.
Just one small, maybe a government official coughs the wrong way. Before you know, they've made a song.
Yeah.
Before you know, there's the video. There are memes all over the place. The point is that we have such creative minds in this country. And we need our government to be able to help us provide that enabling environment for these guys to thrive.
I'm happy that, because one thing I've always, that always bothered me is that we wait, sometimes I say we wait until America has recognized someone. But one thing I'm just so proud of TVC is that, and I've seen it many times, not just the Ikorodu boys, the chess group, we, you know, the young people that come to play chess, we have the young painter. Do you understand? It's important that these children understand that what they're doing right now, it's very important, and they should be commended for that.
Thank you, Mariam, for taking us there, because I'm personal, this is a personal pain for mine, because I know TVC works hard in doing a lot of things, but it's unfortunate that until the international community does exactly the same thing what we're doing,
we've been doing
before it's recognized.
The world,
I would know our own, but people don't recognize it until an international organization does the same thing. So, but
we
for
need
me,
to
it's
do
okay.
more in believing in ourselves. The problem is because it's not a foreigner, you sort of bring down the value. So we need to put value in ourselves. The foreigners are looking at us as well, and they're saying these people are doing amazing. So we ourselves need to have that confidence in our abilities and, you know, express it.
But in the meantime, we're not, you know, we recognize the platform that the foreign body has, and, you know, we're grateful for that. And it may mean, yes, but it's good for these boys as well, because they were doing a particular movie that.
So well done to the Ikorodu boys.
We love you guys.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll begin our gisting topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, one of the contestants of the ongoing BBNaija Kiddwaya's dad said, children of successful and rich people in Nigeria hardly become rich on their own. According to Terry Waya, most of the rich men in Nigeria pass on their wealth to their children, but it's easier for a poor man's child to rise to the top in Nigeria than the son of a rich man. Do you agree? What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-8066814. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YoVTVC so we can read your tweet. So when we're having this conversation, it's like we're trying to understand, why is it that a lot of children of rich people, find it difficult to sustain or build on their parents' wealth, or even create their own business of their own and build their own wealth? Why does it seem so difficult for that to happen? That's really the crux of our conversation.
Yeah. So for me, I feel that there are many factors. First of, when it comes to parenting, and we see that quite a lot, where a person, the parent now, made this money or this riches from working hard, probably started from nothing. They're the ones you would hear, I didn't have shoes when I was going to school, I walked a great distance, I made sure I would cut the firewood first, sell it before I even go off to school. And in doing that, this person has amassed a wealth of experience and also understands the principles of success or of money making. But then what happens that you now have children and you just want them to have a pampered life. You're afraid that you don't want them to go through what you remember as stress, how difficult it was. So you're trying to protect your child. And the danger is that in protecting them, they miss the lessons that you learned while you were going through that tough time. And those were the lessons that helped you build your wealth or helped you build your riches. And now this is a child that is pampered, never even goes to the office or to the workplace or involved in the business. You know, the child is at home or the children are at home, they're traveling around, they just know that money comes in when they want, but just how it works, they're never involved in it. So that's one. Then secondly is, the child just feels, you know what, this is not for me. Let's just say, because there's this book I read a long time ago where the father built his wealth from doing like toilets. So it's not a glamorous job at all, but definitely brings wealth home. And your child grows up and like, please, this is not for me, I don't want to be, but instead.
When it comes to BC, your thoughts on this, what do you make of it?
Okay, I sort of believe it because I've seen rich people who are, you know, most of the riches we have in the country are more of first generation. So it's not like the family wealth and they were growing into it and growing into it and this generation builds on it and the next builds on it. It's just someone who struggles and comes up and then fights for what he wants. So what I see is that because the rich, successful people do not give their children what they call deliberate parenting. So like she mentioned, you want them to have an easy life. You don't want them to go through what you're going through. You are running a business. Your children do not know how you are running that business. They are not even interested. And sometimes they put a lot of pressure on the children. Just give me your grades. I want you to have this. I want you to have that. The children end up with entitlement mentality that everything is at my beck and call. And then they do not build the immunity that you had while you were struggling. And so when things come easy to them, they feel that the world is at their feet, and that helps them, or that makes them not struggle for what they want. Let me give you a typical example. Right now, we are raising our kids where we don't let them go outside and play. How many times have you allowed your children go and run tires outside the compound? I grew up, you know, coming from a place where I can go out in the morning and play all around the neighborhood and come back at night and crash. So I will get injured, I will cut myself, I will learn how to defend myself when children are fighting me, I will learn, you know. So it builds some form of resilience that when I come to you and I need you to do something for me and you say no, I don't give up, I go to the next person. But as a rich child, you're not giving that opportunity.
I don't totally agree with you. Let me tell you why I don't agree with you.
Go
Because
ahead.
you've seen children of people like Donald Trump. They were born into wealth.
We're talking Nigeria.
No, I'm talking about human beings.
Okay.
I'm talking, this is somebody who, the children were born into wealth, and they were born into that business. And they've been building that business until today. They're still running their father's business easily.
Yes.
Now, the thing is that, when I was having this conversation with my husband, he was saying something that everybody needs a motivational factor that's going to push you to the next level. So the poor man, for example, hunger is a factor.
Yes.
It's a push. You know, poverty all your life.
I don't want to be hungry
it's
again.
chasing you. But when you now become wealthy, you have the money. What's the motivation for your children?
Yeah.
What are you put? So it's not so much about the tire running or building that resilience. It's
the
that
principle.
creating that new motivation factor. So that's the question. Like, so what do I use to motivate? So for example, a Donald Trump's child, the motivation factor can be that, okay, we have this real estate property and Mr. Johnson has real estate. Our family plan is to submerge Mr. Johnson's family. Yeah. Our dream, our entire dream is to make sure that Mr. Wait, hang in there. To make sure our entire vision of the family is to make sure Mr. Johnson's real estate crumbles while we take over the entire Manhattan. So there's something pushing that child to like, okay, our job, you built real estate, but my job now is to take over the whole of Manhattan.
Okay,
so
fantastic.
What are rich people instilling in their children to motivate them to build that wealth?
Yeah, so for me, as I mentioned earlier, is the principles of being successful, the principles of making money. You may have learned it the hard way because those were your circumstances at the time. But in parenting, sometimes we forget that when the principles can be lost in teaching, in the way we are raising our children to just be, you know, at home and just not pay attention and not be focused or committed. So someone like Trump, I don't like to use him, but let's just use Trump. Someone like a Trump, I'm sure his children, because they talk about his daughter a lot, Ivanka, they say she's brilliant and she's, you know, and definitely it's not from just sitting at home and just having everything done for her. If you remember when he used to do his reality TV shows, she was very much a part of the process. So yes, so what would motivate them may not be hunger, may not be the poverty, but as you said, it will be something else, like they're learning focus, they're learning commitment. A child that does very well probably gets a very beautiful car. Do you understand?
Yes.
A rich child gets a beautiful car where the poor man doesn't.
You're very correct, Mariam, because what we see in a lot of African families is that they don't have that conversation with their children. They just have the wealth, send them abroad, give them the best schools, and that's it. You're not actually, you have the money not because you want that longevity. You're just having the money to make your children comfortable, life easy. You're not thinking 20
life
years.
Skills.
I mean, we see companies like KFC, Coca-Cola. We see these are brands that were built by people and families that have passed through generations. So is that missing link? I wanted us to have that conversation about. Yes.
So I also noticed that it's this way because some Nigerian parents who are rich do not give their children the opportunity to find themselves. Now, it's okay to have a family business, but you need to find out if that is the interest of the child. But because they have that business and they feel this is the way, okay, all of us are medical doctors and we're wealthy, you must study medicine, you must go this way. And you do not give the child the opportunity to say, okay, I want to go and draw something somewhere. This is how I want to, you know, start my life. You also do not give the children the opportunity to start from the scratch. You feel there are some jobs that are beneath them. There are some people you have conversations with, my children cannot do such jobs. And you have already put them on a pedestal already. So the children do not learn the required skills that would take them
there's nothing wrong in that. My argument with you is that there's nothing wrong in that.
No, there's nothing wrong in forcing your children. No, see, when it comes to building wealth, there are principles of finance that you can teach a child.
Right.
Like you need to save, you need to work hard for your money, see the work mommy is doing, you need to learn what I'm doing. Those are general principles that you can teach your children.
Right.
But now a child now says, I do not want to go in this direction. This is the direction I want to go. And the child wants to find herself there.
The rich girl's daughter in this country, that's something that has a song on ice cream or...
Copy.
Copy, yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that one went to throw tires or to run?
No, she didn't.
Yes. So the point is that there are some people that are point blank born in wealth. You're not going to go through that rigorous foundation.
Because she's doing her own thing.
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is that it's not so much about until you get that foundational beginning. So you can actually start at the top. But if you start at the top with the right values, you can still make it happen.
Yes,
that was the point I'm trying to make.
I think what we're all trying to say, we're saying the same thing, which is we can still learn the values given our different circumstances. You can still learn focus in poverty as well as in wealth. Riches. So everything that's important in doing well, you can learn it wherever you find yourself. But also now, let's just make it even more local. In Nigeria, I think there are just very few families that you can count, that the wealth is generational. You'd hear a lot of people that, these people, they used to be rich. They used to have cars. I mean, I used to hear it so many times when I was growing up. I used to be like, why do I always know people that used to be rich? Why don't I just know people, And, one of the things is a few of them would be the way they got the wealth, especially when we talk about politicians.
I know, those ones.
So if you have someone who didn't really have much skills, but just was fortunate to be in a political class or, friends with, able to get contracts based on a friendship or something. That is different.
We're not talking about politicians.
So that is what that is what you would find. That is what you find a lot of. So you don't see that generational wealth being passed from.
Our conversation is not this accidental wealth. You get
or
politics to make money. No. That's not, for me, that's not wealth. That's just money that happened to you, just as riches. We're talking about real proper wealth because we have had that issue of sustainers. I know growing up, I knew a family very close to me that when everybody was going for summer, my father never allowed me to go for summer for whatever reason. He said no. So I'm always home. In fact, I go to Cotonou. This family, all their children, very, very rich. They didn't do summer either. In fact, they do summer maybe after 1 or 2 weeks. They are back and they enter the factory. All of them. Yeah. So when they come back to school in September, and everyone's like, I went to London, they are talking about they were in the factory working.
Doing work.
Then I used to wonder, how would let his children be working in the factory? But today, they're all part of that factory. They're still working in that same factory. They're working. So that's somebody who was thinking ahead. He was deliberate about his parenting. So the real conversation is, how do we ensure going forward, as we are having children now, as we are no more coming from where we grew up, how do we ensure we instill the right values so that these children we have given birth to can build on and will make better use, so that these children we have given birth to can build on and will make better or build their own wealth responsibly and sustainably. That's pretty much what.
Yeah. So for me, I think we need to all start thinking long term. So whatever you're doing now is not just for me to be able to eat. The problem is because we're still in that level of survival, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're still in a level of survival, you cannot see beyond your nose. You are just thinking of what I'm going to eat today, what I'm going to eat tomorrow, what I'm going to hide. And that's why we have a lot of people amassing wealth and hiding, because they're still in that survival level. But we need to get to a point where we start raising these children with the proper values of work, success, and the process. They need to see the process. They need to follow the process. It's not about the end result. Let them learn from following the process. So wherever they find themselves, they can make something.
Let me take this call. Share mobile, I think.
Yeah, good morning, Mariah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
I think for me, as human beings as we are, there's nobody that can make it to the top, either rich or poor background. But from my own perspective, what I've get to say is like the rich are scared for their children to feel. So they make their life more comfortable without them stressing for some things to achieve some things. Like my own experience back in the days, I would see some children when we are writing some exams, maybe some external exam like NECO, JAM, all these exams. Some parents will go all forth to pay for external people to write for their children. Not because they don't feel their children won't pass, but because of the fear of the failure. So they don't want to put their children under that pressure them has also faced. So not like the poor man or the poor woman who will make our children go through that pain to know how he or she will get to survive. But for the rich, I think it just make that platform easier for the children to just climb, not making them know how it feels. Like some example you used, like a father is into one business that made him very rich. But the children will tell you, I can't go into that business. How can I go into that business in this sense?
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to also add that sometimes when this particular story was saying that it was easier for children, I think that's one part we are forgetting, that it's easier for children of the poor to actually do better. But I don't think it's right in Nigeria because of everything else in the society and how our society works. Because as a society, we are not very encouraging of hard work. We're not very, we don't recognize people who are not related to a big name or related or have a lot of money. So just like these Ikorodu boys that we've just spoken about and how it seems that they are being recognized outside instead of when they were here local, people didn't give them, they didn't get the sort of world recognition that they deserve. So it is hard for a poor person or poor person's child to get that lift or that push, that takes you from where you are. It takes so much of that person's hard work and effort and generation to generation until finally you make a way. But a child of a rich person, there's the network that your father or your parents or your family has already built for you. So even if you're sort of lazy, life is a lot less forgiving for someone like that than somebody.
So you're focusing on the point now. Let me take this call. I'll come to you. Right. Laja, are you there from Ikorodu?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Moyo, the Yoruba adage that says, Murasi Shoremi. Iṣẹ́ ní gbé ní ga. Nta bá fara ṣiṣẹ́ fún ní pẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni. Ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí baba lẹ́ṣin lẹ́gàn. Tó bá gbójúlé wọn ó tẹ́tán ni mo sọ fún ọ. You see, that adage holds forever. It's only what you work for that remains in your hand that you cherish. You won't allow it to disappear. But what you don't work for can easily fizzle away. So that's my own principle. All these rich men gathering money and keeping for their children for the future, I'm afraid it won't stay. The principle of hard work, the principle of work and eat is there paramount. God is not partial. God is never partial. He will adjust. He knows how to balance the equation.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Mariam took us to the direction of the poor, which I think we'd like to focus on. But let me let you go first.
Yes, so in what she said, like the rich having more like, should I use the word, a cushion for the children to be able to start so that at least life is not hitting them hard on all sides. It's good, but it creates an illusion of my life is set for the rich people. And so they don't go way above their parents. they don't, it's very difficult to see such rich people have their own wealth that surpasses that of their parents. So they leverage on our family wealth. It's a family wealth. The father's name has covered every other person, and it's difficult to come out of that. But you see that poor guy who is determined and knows what he wants. It's as if when poverty is chasing you from the back, you have to run with your feet, touching the back of your head. The person is putting in everything because he knows that when he falls, there's no family member I'll run to that will help me. Everybody is dependent on me. I'm taking care of my parents, I'm taking care of this, I'm taking care of that. So I have to do this at all costs. You see that all costs, that perseverance, that consistency that the poor guy will use for those that have sense. So the rich one doesn't use it as such. Okay. When you compare both of them, because one feels more relaxed that there's something somewhere that cushions it. And that's why they squander the wealth of their parents at the end of the day. We have a lot of rich people who have died and they cannot manage the wealth. But you see, most of those poor people, there's nothing to squander. They are fighting for their own and they are building for their children.
I was just going to say that in what I was trying to say is that if we were to give two people opportunity, if we were to watch two people, so like a child of a rich person or a wealthy person and a child of a poor person, and just let them into the world, and let's say we're watching them like Big Brother and watching, you find how easy it is for even a lazy, wealthy boy to make, or a child of a wealthy person to make it. Because there are people all around trying to please something, trying to make up for something your parents have done for you. They have created, your network your father's network has become your net worth. You see that child, the other one from the poor family, no matter how hardworking, no matter how focused, no matter how committed, if there's no enabling environment, he would work hard and may not even make it as well as the child of that the rich person, not because he's less intelligent, not because he's less hardworking, but that's just what wealth does for you.
Okay, I wanted to go back to what our last caller said, because what he pretty much said is that everybody must work hard to get what you want. Because recently, 2020 has been really tough on everybody, and we've lost a lot of important people, And when myself and my husband are having a conversation, like, XYZ has passed on.
How would they?
The houses, the cars, the money, where is it today? Somebody else is going to take it up.
Before.
So it could be one cousin, one auntie, one people just come and now become madam or come on that person's property. So the truth is, yes, people have money, but you as a person, you have to work your own way up.
Yeah.
And if you're dependent on XYZ to push you, that might become a problem. Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning, Morai. How are you doing?
Very well. Go ahead, please.
Okay. See, the problem is that a good number of rich men don't know why they create wealth. And I want to marshal out the 4 reasons why you need to create wealth. Can you hear me?
Very clearly, very clearly.
Yes. The 4 reasons why you create wealth is, one is for investment. Number one is for investment. In order to multiply the money, the wealth. Number 2 is preservation. Number 3 is transfer. You transfer it to the next generation. And number 4 is philanthropy. This is what rich men are supposed to teach their children. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So the first one is what?
Investment.
Investment. Second one is
transfer.
I know.
No, that's
not the third.
Yes. I use the second, then philanthropy.
And then philanthropy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I was saying now is we're going back to the average Nigerian person out there. So everybody, we're all trying to hustle. We're all trying to make this world. People are looking for that big break to make it. But when you now do get that big break, we just squander it on what we want now. And we don't think of these 4 things this man has said. That how do I build on this for the next generation?
To get more.
Even if you build on it, how do I ensure that my children are able to use this wealth appropriately? But I have a lot of concern for families who have sent their children abroad. And I've had the conversation with a few of them. And one of their greatest worry is that many of these children don't want to come back home. Because the reason why they sent you abroad in the first place is that you can get the education, come back and help build the family business. Many of them abandon Nigeria because and they stay over there. Now, the industry your father has started in Nigeria goes to waste.
Yeah.
God forbid, I mean, I know there's somebody that my husband knows very clearly. he passed on. A good friend of one of his partners. He has a very thriving business. If I mention the brand, you know it. His children are all the way far away abroad. When he died, they flew in to bury, and after burial, so it was actually the friends, the deceased friend was now worrying, how do we build this man's business? The children have said they're not interested because they are doing well abroad. How do we, so that's where the issue I want us to talk about, that is it a bad thing sending your children abroad to go and learn, or how do we ensure these children come back and build on whatever it is that we're building? Because all of us are sending our children abroad at some point. Because the idea is longevity. Are we thinking ahead? Are we thinking beyond now? What exactly are the next steps? So that's really what I'd like us to focus on the next few minutes.
Well, you see, for me, I feel that you can make, wherever you find yourself, you can decide how you want it to work for you. So a man who has started his business local and is able to raise enough money to send his children abroad may just be thinking about how would this what would this investment in my children mean a consequent investment on my business? Probably if I send my children abroad, they'll learn all those Oyinbo things and bring it home. Or maybe this may mean that my children are taking this international. So I think it goes back to the deliberate parenting. I think you need to sit down with the children and say, see, we have a plan. And this is my plan for my business. I'm putting this in, I'm sending people to school because of this. So I'm asking people to go abroad because of that. And the thing is also, parents would need to accept the fact that sometimes your children would not do the business that you have set down for them. But I feel that most of the time why this doesn't work is that there's never that communication in the first place. You just assume that once they are done doing what they're doing, they'll come back and just pick up the reins of the business. But you need to have conversations. When you read books of people who have generational wealth, you would hear that they would have that conversation. By the time I was 16, my father had already put me on the board. I used to go for meetings. So I'm already part of this thing. And I'm thinking now that I'm in another country and I'm learning this skill, how do I bring it home? So unless it's deliberate, you would have, I think, issues like these.
Okay, we're trying to look for some tweets so far. We don't have to. Yeah, we have a call from Agbado. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Oh, I'm sorry, lost that call.
Yeah, so I would also say that you need to be sure that your children buy into the plan that you have. So,
when is the plan that paid their school fees?
No, see, you can't force people to do what they don't want to do now. It's not about school fees now.
It's not your school fees.
No, it's not about school fees. It's not about school fees. You can't be doing a business that they are not interested in doing. Do you want to kill them?
No. Business that paid your school fees.
Hold on. That's the problem. That's the problem we have at the end of the day. They will abandon it and go and find something else and waste your time and waste resources. We need to be real here. If they are interested in the business, there are certain ways you can raise your children to fall in love with what you're doing. You know, in their formative years, they actually see you as a role model. So you're doing things on TV now. I saw your birthday. Elizabeth was already talking. She hosted the party for you in the house. She's already getting interested in what you're doing. So tomorrow you say, I'm setting up a media company. You know that at least Elizabeth that I saw is interested in doing something like that. You can have a conversation with Elizabeth. The other two may not be interested. One may want to be an engineer. Do you want to force them to come and do media? You don't do that. So you need to understand the children you have, and if they fit into your business, then you can have a conversation. Let them buy into the plan, sending you abroad because I need you to go study, come back, and help in this business. But if it's not what you want, okay, it's fine. I will do it with strangers.
Let me talk to Chigozio from Bauchi. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Kola.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. What I want to contribute is that the difference between rich men children and poor men children is far different. Like me, my parents are not wealthy. I came from a very poor background. But I can remember right from my GSS3, I've been hustling, studying, hustle and school. At the same time, if I should tell you the position I am, I know that yes, many other rich children, they can't do that. So my own contribution is that at least we Nigerians, we have this mentality of thinking, yes, I've made it, I think I'm making it, they are for my children. Though that mentality should not be like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so when you build wealth, don't build for your children. Is that what he's saying? That you let the children just go and build. So wait, I don't understand.
He's saying that he has been hustling for a long time, and as he said, I just remember, just recently, my friend sent me pictures and videos of someone we went to school with I'm not going to mention the person. The person has estates like countries. That's how it is, like huge. My classmates, my mates, the same in university. But in university, Mariah, he was not the always in school person. They're the ones you would see maybe during tests and during exams. Because mid-term, mid-semester, they were hustling. They were working hard. They already had the wisdom to work hard.
Poor parents or the...
I don't know about his background. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you, when he said something about hustling, so he had the wisdom of chasing his dreams, and he has built on that. And I was thinking about us, for most of us, we had this, if you came from a poor background, it's like, just go to school. Once you go to school, you get a job, you make it. And then maybe for the rich person to just go to school, if you get good grades, just come and join my company. But that spirit of hustling, I think it's something that needs to be taught. And it's something that you need to engage children quite early.
Me, I can't start a business that my children will be using, that will be raising them with. They'll not grow up and say they want to go and do
that your
something
tiger nut business. Now let's take, for instance, you
my husband has a
continue.
business today.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that my children will be able to continue on that business.
So you have the conversation with them. You start having that plan.
No problem.
And if they don't want, what do you do?
Will I now sell the company? Are they okay?
No, you do your company yourself now. I don't understand. These children come to life because of you.
No, but Mariah, you have, if you see some of these big
Johnson & Johnson products.
It doesn't
Don't you all eat from KFC?
But what if they develop their own product and start going in that direction? See, what you need to instill is the act of work and doing business. So
or doing hard work.
So if they decide, okay, you are doing tiger nut, me, I want to do soap. I don't want to do your tiger nut. Why are you forcing me to do your tiger nut? No. You equip them to do their business.
Also, what I have seen is that you have a huge company. You have a child who is, and maybe it's engineering, but you have a creative child. You say, okay, because of that, we're opening a creative department. How does this creativity now work with this engineering? So I think we just need to be creative in the way that we think. Your children would not usually up and leave, you know, and say they don't want to help. But if you want it to be a family business, it has to be a conversation you're already having with your children. You're already even saying in jest, you know you're going to be taking daddy to work very soon. You know you have to take daddy's briefcase. Oh, daddy, what are you studying? What paper is this? What, you know?
So start engaging them early.
But
let's take a few. We have to wrap
some
up
stubborn children will still say, this is not what I want to do. Like me. Mr. Adebayo says, being poor is a motivation to work harder and smarter and will propel one to strive to become successful. Like someone who's born with a silver spoon to become successful. Like someone who's born with a silver spoon with everything done for him. Wealth should be value added and not served a la carte.
I've seen wealthy children become successful.
They were taught the values of work.
Wealthy children that are doing well.
Yes.
The ice cream lady is doing well.
Yes.
What's her name? Copy.
Okay, what do you call her? Oh, the gelato.
Has her wealth surpassed her father?
Sorry?
Has her wealth surpassed her father?
Not yet. Hopefully it will.
So it's the same thing we're saying, no? It may be very... she'll have to do a lot more to surpass what the father has built. That's what I'm saying. So she has a level playing field. She has wealth. She has.
Can we use a family that
we don't know?
No, that we know.
Okay.
We've heard of the Kardashians, and a lot of people have talked of how the mother has used the talent or skills or lack of skills that her daughters have, and they have amassed some riches. I don't know wealth. And we remember when their youngest was called a billionaire one time, and a lot of people said, and she said, and she was called a self-made billionaire at the time, and many people questioned, how are you self-made when definitely you did from the back? But we know of children, like as we're discussing, that no matter the wealth that you have, if you don't work on it, you would not make one for yourself. So, you know, the conversation, I don't want it to be that, I don't want us to leave thinking that if you are born in a wealthy home, then there are no skills to learn to build on the wealth. That you're not suffering does not mean that there are no skills, no life skills to learn to build on wealth. That you are poor also does not mean that there are no life skills to learn to take yourself out of the situation that you find yourself today. So wherever you find yourself, you can build yourself.
Thank you very much for that very fantastic point, Mariam. So poor, rich, all of us need skills to get us to the next level. So don't use that as an excuse. Yes, they might have it slightly easier, but you need similar skills to get to the next level. I think we can wrap up on that. We don't have any more tweets?
Yes, we have. Ogumola Emmanuel says, but it's only natural that a parent's peak is starting point for their offspring. Why will I suffer when there's an effortless way of getting it easier? Terry, okay, so he says, now mention the 4 fundamentals of seeking wealth, which is investment, preservation, transfer, and philanthropy.
So please, when you have small money, invest it. Then find a way to preserve it. And then number 3, transfer to your children, and then be a charity. That's all we can take on the show today. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.